Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Narayana. Hari Om and good evening from Niagara Falls. How many of you use YouTube by show of hands? Okay. What is one of the most annoying commercials or ads that come on before the actual video that you want to watch? The Grammarly one, isn't it? You know that program that helps you with your grammar? And in that, they have this one scene where the person keeps looking at the same document again and again and again, and they don't see the errors in the document. So you need Grammarly. I don't even know if that's what it's called, but I'm inferring that it is. Sometimes the same happens with our study of Vedanta. We go through the books and we go through the recordings again and again and again, and maybe we take that thought flow for granted. Recently someone had asked me, is there more to Vedanta? Is there a further study? Can you go deeper? And it was a fine question because it made me think about what I'm thinking about. The word Atman, like Atma, Atma Bodha, means that which is closest. And this closest is not relative, is absolute. Vedanta is the study of Atma. So it's the study of that which is closest, the study of that which is absolute. So there isn't more than Vedanta. You cannot study a deeper subject. Shared in a different framework. Only those who are not peaceful are pursuing peace. Isn't it? Those who are peaceful aren't pursuing peace. Once you're peaceful, then what else is there to study? Nothing. So Vedanta is a study of peace. There is no greater or higher subject than that. And shared in one more framework, so that we have clarity, conviction, confidence in the importance of our course. Atma is Ananda, is peace. And when we experience joy, independent joy, we have no more to gain, and so we have no more to lose. That's a very poetic statement. With the study of Vedanta, that becomes a very practical statement. Nothing to gain, nothing to lose. We've now completed half of Atma Bodha. And in this half of Atma Bodha, we should be feeling like we're reaching that highest gain. So we should feel like we're more content. And we should be feeling like we have nothing to lose. We should be feeling more courageous, more content and more courageous. By a show of hands, over the last, now we're in February, wow. Over the last 5 months, how many of you feel more courageous? By a show of hands. I just put my hand up because I have to, right? Like, what if I put my hand down? How many of you feel more courageous? If I don't, then why should you feel courageous? How many of you feel more content? Good. If I were to ask you the same subject about your profession, over the last 5 months you feel more courageous or content, or your academics, would you still have your hand up? I hope so. Atma Bodha works for 3 levels of seekers. You decide what level you're at. A seeker whose first challenge is ignorance. Atma Bodha shows that ignorant personality their potential. Atma Bodha shows knowledge of who one is. So now they're not completely ignorant because they know they're ignorant. That means you're not completely ignorant because now I know I can be more. In a simple term, this would be Shravana. Atma Bodha operates at the level of Shravana. Now that I am not completely ignorant, intellectually I know my potential, the second challenge is incertitude. I have doubts about whether this potential is about me or someone else. Whether this potential is just an idea. I'm told that I'm Ananda, but I don't feel like I'm Ananda. I'm told I won't die, but I feel like I'm getting older. That there's a fear of death that comes to me occasionally. For those with this incertitude, Atma Bodha makes this message real, purges those doubts, takes us from samshaya, an understanding that's shaded, to nischaya, an understanding that is clear. And for the deepest seeker, the most advanced sadhaka, they are not ignorant. That challenge is not there. There's no incertitude. They do not have doubts. That third challenge is identification. For too much time, they've identified with the body, with dependent joy. So despite intellectually knowing one's potential, despite not having doubts that this potential is real, the message is not personal enough. And Atma Bodha helps us to take this potential that is real and is personal also. This subject is about you. In Shloka 33, Acharya Shankara was teaching us how to use our mind. He says, don't be careless, don't be mindless, don't be mindful, but be careful, and that will lead you to awareness, that which is behind the mind. By being careful. And the sutra here was, concentrate on colors. Concentrate on the colors of the mind. In the language of Bhagavad Gita, this would be the varna, or the guna. When one is agitated, when one is quiet, concentrate, see what's behind that. Concentrate on colors. You will get to shubhra, which is white. You will get to that which has no color. In Shloka 34, Acharya Shankara describes what is behind the mind. And there's a series of words that start with N. Not this, not this, not this, not this, not this. Shared simply, Acharya Shankara says, what is beyond the mind is beyond vikara, that is destruction, and beyond samskara too, that is construction. Beyond the negative and beyond the positive, The mind is subject to this duality, but beyond the mind is balance, oneness. And our sutra here was more freedom, less needs. More freedom, less needs. As you go deeper than the mind, you get to experience more joy. You become less needy then. And I invested a lot of time here helping people find a significant other to let go of pursuing those who are high maintenance. They don't like themselves, they will never like you. I meet a lot of people who are married, and through whatever circumstance, they stop loving themselves. And if they don't love themselves, they cannot love another person. So that really is, it's not you, it's me. Which we hear in such a casual way. This is possible. One has to love themselves to love others. That completed half of Atma Bodha, and we began the second half with Shloka 35. Acharya Shankara says, our nature is like space, akashavat. And I'll bring in chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita here to make this clear. Bhagavan says in chapter 12, this is a virtue of someone who is dear to God, someone whom God is dear to. Na udvijate lokaha. Na udvijate lokaha. They do not agitate the world. They do not shake the world in a negative way. And in that same line, Bhagavan Krishna says, Lokan na udvijate. And they are not agitated by the world. They are not shaken by the world. Someone who makes God close to them, someone who's close to God, they don't make the world a worse place, and they are not made worse by the world. Just like space, isn't it? Space doesn't get agitated by a hurricane, and the elements, you talk about earth or water or fire, air, is not agitated by space. Space is most accommodating. I'm going to make this a little bit simpler. In Avaduta Gita, our grade 4 class studies this, my 24 preceptors. See how much faith I have in all of you. I went from Bhagavad Gita to grade 4 Bala Vihar curriculum. One of the teachers is air, and the example given is, if I hold a rose in my hand, there are soft petals and there are hard thorns. That air, that wind passes by both indiscriminately. That air doesn't caress those petals more or avoid the thorns more, but rather accepts the petals and the thorns. Space is like that in a deeper sense, and the most deep sense is our nature. So practice those virtues to get to that depth. Cool? The sutra here was, be quiet to be. And I love emphasizing that first part. What's the sutra? Be quiet to be. So you can ask when people tell you, what do you learn in Atma Bodha? Be quiet to be. I'd shared this earlier. There's an episode of The Simpsons. And you know Kent Brockman? He's the news reporter. And typical news reporting, typical American news reporting, he begins saying, President Bush has died. Huge pause. His hair. But when you hear that, right? The president has died. So this sutra is like that. We continue to Shloka 36. Nitya Shuddha Vimukta Ekam Akhandananda Madvayam Satyam Jnanamanantam Yat Param Brahmahameva Tat Together. Nitya Shuddha Vimuktaikam Akhandanandam Advayam Satyam Jnanamanantam Yat Param Brahmaham Tat. Acharya Shankara says here, in the first line, Eka, oneness is, I'm going to go in order here, oneness is Shuddha. Shuddha here means that which has no opposite, that which has no limitation. In other words, oneness is infinite. The word Shuddha here is indicative of infinitude. What else? Eka is also Nitya. Nitya here is addressing that which is forever. And an English word to understand this is incessant. Incessant. There is no ceasing to this oneness. Eka is also not just mukta, vimukta. Completely, perfectly free. And an English word to remember this is independent. There's no dependency, there's no incompleteness there. And if you're flowing with what I'm sharing, at the beginning of the emails that I send you, specifically the e-vichara, I write, I hope this message finds you infinitely, incessantly, and independently joyous. That's that first line. Nitya Shuddha Mukta. We chant this when we chant the names of someone who is great also. This is the nature of oneness. So what is the nature of oneness? Joy. So is it worth studying oneness? Yes, because it's studying joy. Is it worth practicing oneness? Yes, because it's invoking joy. The most important subject. What if there's not oneness? In the second line, Acharya Shankara says, Dvaya means two-ness. Advaya, there's no two-ness. And because there is no two-ness, there is akhanda. Akhanda means without change. In a couple of weeks, Mahashivratri will be celebrated, and many centers, many individuals celebrate Mahashivratri with akhanda japa. They chant Om Namah Shivaya without break. At Sandipani in Mumbai, we start at 4 a.m. and we continue until 4 a.m. the next day without break. In the mandir with the microphone, and it's broadcasted to the whole ashram. Amazing. For those who came on the yatra recently, we went to the Divine Life Society ashram, Shivananda ashram. Their bhajan hall since 1942. The mantra Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare has been chanted without break since 1942. That's incredible. You can feel that mantra, that chanting when you go there. And it's not a recording, it's live. With no change comes ananda, joy. My nature is joy, and my nature is not going to change whether I know it or not. Bringing this to the relative level, the second line is teaching us that this is the highest investment. All of the investments we make in the world will change. The stock market, Bitcoin, land, everything will change, but the investment that one makes in tuning into their nature, that is the highest investment. Like we're all doing, we've done for so many classes now. This is our 18th class. In the third quarter, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Yat. Yat is what Acharya Shankara is talking about. What he's talking about is Satya. This is the truth. This is Jnana, of the nature of awareness. This is Ananta. There's no beginning, there's no end. And these are more technical words. But tell me, where have you heard these words before? Taittiriya Upanishad. Here Acharya Shankara has taken Taittiriya Upanishad and brought this into Atma Bodha. He brought this into Atma Bodha to show that what he's sharing is not made up by an individual. This is the teachings, the message of the rishis. In earlier shlokas, we studied the word Shubhra. That thought has been pulled from Mundaka Upanishad. So throughout Atma Bodha, Acharya Shankara is referencing the Upanishads. He will be referencing Ramayana soon. And you know why he does this? This is a flow of humility. He's not claiming this is original thought. He's not claiming any fruit or phala to himself. This bhava or feeling is most unique in our secular society that's focused on capitalism and being self-made. He's saying that don't think this is my teaching. Don't address this to me. This is forever. This has been around forever. This is available. Now you're tuning into it. And finally, Acharya Shankara says in the fourth quarter, you are not Brahma, you're Para Brahma. He brings in the word Para because we have various ideas of Brahma. Even when I say Brahma, what are you thinking about? Many people think of four-faced Brahma, correct? That's Brahma with a long A. He's open to birth and death. So we're clear that there's nothing higher. The word Para is used just for us. So we can not be confused or not misinterpret that there's any subject that's higher, that we can be more. We cannot be more. Aham eva tat. You are not tvam, you are tat. You are not you, you are God. And this word eva holds so much power there. It's not you are God also. You are God alone. There's no space for you. Many people ask me when one is enlightened, what did they do? They don't do anything. When one is enlightened, their personality has died. There's no more tvam. They are God. And whatever the devotees and lovers of God, like all of us, wish for that personality, they become that. We needed Sri Ramakrishna to live in a simple way in Kolkata. And we needed his prime disciple, Pujya Swami Vivekananda, to travel the world. In both cases, they never chose that. There was no tvam, there was only tat, only divinity. How to practice this? I know we've all had glimpses, moments where we stop thinking about ourselves. And how much freedom comes with just that one experience of not having to think about oneself. Imagine being like that all the time. What else is there to do other than work towards this? Our sutra for 36 is, identify the identity crisis. Identify the identity crisis. If you're going through an identity crisis, doesn't it mean that there is an identity that will become clear? Shared differently, if I use the word kosha or sheath, if there's a sheath, what else has to be there? That which the sheath is covering, correct? So if I'm going through an identity crisis, that means right now I don't know what my identity is, but I will know my identity. That's what's shared in a sutra form in this shloka. Continuing, all of these shlokas that Acharya Shankara is focusing on now, these are all contemplation shlokas. Acharya Shankara is feeling that we've understood everything in the first half of Atma Bodha. Fortunately, this was written 1500 years ago, and he doesn't know that we may not be understanding what's going on right now, but he teaches us. He teaches us how to contemplate here. We move on to shloka 37. Evam nirantarabhyasta Brahmevasmiti vasana. Haratya vidya vikshepan. Rogan iva rasayanam. Together. Evam nirantarabhyasta. Brahmevasmiti vasana. Haratya vidya vikshepan. Rogan iva rasayanam. Acharya Shankara says, Eva, knowing all that you know, what should you be doing alone? Nirantara. Nirantara is like akhanda, constant, perpetual, forever. Abhyasa. We should be practicing what we've learned incessantly, indefinitely, without ceasing, without excuses, without blaming. This should be practiced. Practiced going from one who's ignorant, dealing with that challenge. One whose challenge is now incertitude, dealing with that. One whose challenge is identification, dealing with that. This is all the identification challenge. Acharya Shankara is saying, practice. Your identification will change. The word abhyasa is used here in a slang way. It would be like abhi asa. Abhi means now, and asa means sit. If you want to yell at someone or someone's in trouble, you say, sit down now, correct? So that's like us. Abhyasa, sit down, practice. What should you practice? In the second line, Acharya Shankara says, creating a vasana. A vasana that Brahma eva asmi iti. A vasana that I am infinite alone. I'm infinite. Infinity or bust. Only Brahman. Vasana is that which is natural. You know, we say we have a vasana for singing, a vasana for soccer, a vasana for talking, a vasana for movies. Correct? It's natural. You're drawn to that. Looked at differently, right now, what is natural to us is the feeling that we are the body, that we need articles, beings, circumstances for completion. This is just the path of least resistance. Is it easier to go to the gym or not go to the gym? Is it easier to criticize someone or to compliment someone? Is it easier not to engage in Atma Bodha or to engage in Atma Bodha? That last question that I posed to you, if it's still easier not to engage in Atma Bodha because you never started 18 classes ago. But if you did start 18 classes ago, you've changed the path of least resistance. You've changed your lifestyle. You've changed your schedule for this to be included within that. And so if I say the next week we don't have class, your heart skips a beat. You say no class? Aww. We are on a trillion-year journey. We watched the Star Wars beginning many years ago in a far, far galaxy. That can't touch the journey we are on. We're on a trillion-year journey. And for however millions and billions of years we have been focusing on pleasure, possession, position, Acharya Shankara is saying, develop, nourish, have the vasana for peace. Vasanas are not bad. Vasana simply means fragrance. What kind of personality do you have? When people wear strong colognes, they have that type of personality, right? People wear fruity perfumes. They have that type of personality. What is your vasana? Haratya vidya vikshep at. It says on, vikshep at. Here, Acharya Shankara is saying, when we have this vasana, this propensity To know that we are more than who we are, what gets stolen? Harati, what gets stolen is vikshepa. Vikshepa is expectation. Now just pause there. I was in London the last few days, and I asked everyone, on Mondays we study meditation and life. For all of you, for your own reference, beginning in September of 2018, this year, we are going to begin studying meditation and life for our Tuesday night class. All of you are invited to be part of that class. It will be a non-questionnaire class. You're welcome. And as I was sharing thoughts on meditation and life, everyone thinks that they're ready for meditation. And I asked everyone, what stops you from being patient? And consistently, there was 15 or 16 people, consistently everyone said, expectations. True? What stops you from being patient with your parents? Expectations, correct? What stops you from being patient with your kids? Expectations. If a teacher is irate with the class or you, why? Because they expect more from you. Expectation. As long as you have expectation, you cannot meditate. Not possible. I'll share more on that. Here, Acharya Shankara is saying, with the vasana that I am infinite. How did I get this vasana? Because for 34 shlokas, I've understood I have to live a life of purity. Then this projection will be stolen, because what else will be stolen? Incompleteness. I will not feel I want this, or I need this. I'll give you another framework. In Sanskrit, when there's a vidya, that is forgetfulness, there is incompleteness. And another word for incompleteness is separation. Avidya, incompleteness, separation, they're all the same. Where this is there, what else will be there? With avidya comes vikshepa. With incompleteness comes projection or expectation. With separation comes the feeling of smallness or sadness. Separation makes me feel small, makes me feel sad. All of this can be dropped if we change what we feel we are. The word harati comes here. Harati is like the word Hari. Hari is another name for Bhagavan Vishnu or God. Without Hari, not possible. This is why in Chinmay Mission we say, Hari Om. Bhagavan, God, Guru, teacher, come and steal my ignorance, and what will remain? Om. What a great greeting that we have. What is this all like? Rogan iva rasayanam. Rogat. For this disease, one needs a rasayana, an elixir. That's a cool word, no? Elixir. When you think of elixir, you think of old video games, or Game of Thrones, or Harry Potter. So this elixir, you have to say it like that too. This elixir for this disease is called bhavaroga. The disease is not indicated here, but it's called bhavaroga. The disease of becoming, the disease of depending, can only be treated with the medicine that is, I am infinite. Aham Brahmasmi. Here is your sutra. The one is only. The one is only. In English, we say the one and only, correct? And then you're describing something else. The one and only David Copperfield. The one and only LeBron James. The one and only Lata Mangeshkar. Here, forget about the last part. It's the one is only. There's only oneness. Did you get the sutra? I'll look away. Yes, clock, I see you. We'll take up one more shloka. We'll move fast with this. Now that you have knowledge of what to contemplate on, how do you contemplate? Here's how. Vivek desha asinaha. Virago vichitendriyaha bhavayet ekamatmanam tamanantamananyadhihi. Together. Vivikta desha asinaha virago vichitendriyaha bhavayet ekamatmanam tamanantamananyadhihi. I've lived a life of purity, first half of Atma Bodha. Now I am ready to receive the highest knowledge. Acharya Shankara shared that over the last few shlokas. Now with this, abhyasa, sit now. Here's what you should prepare yourself with to sit now and what to think of. Desha, find a place. In that place, asina, sit. Sitting here implies that you're ready to work. You're not in a rush. And this place should be vivikta. That's an awesome word. Vivikta means aloneness. Sit in a place where you are alone. And looking at this more practically, a place of the least input. I can sit in my room alone, but have the TV on. Not that we have a TV. I can have Netflix on and YouTube on and be annoyed with that Grammarly ad, eating food and writing stuff. See how much input is there? You should be in a place where there's the least amount of input. For those who have been part of our silence retreats, there is no input. You can't wear a necklace, you can't chant a prayer, you can't have a car key, no reading, no writing, no looking at me also. I share a few words before you begin contemplation. So where do you have to go? You have nowhere to go but deeper inside. Vivikta desha. If you can do this in an environment with little input, you train yourself that even in environments of a lot of input, you focus so that a lot of input doesn't affect you. From the controlled environment to the uncontrolled environment, chaos around, but one is concentrating, not getting hit by that chaos. You're sitting in this place of aloneness and you are viragaha, free. You should literally feel like you are free of a gender, free of an age, free of a body, free of a job, of a position. All of that which describes you, confines you, you are free of all of that. And by doing so, vijitendriyaha, you don't have to act then. See, if I'm a teacher, I have to speak, correct? If I'm a father, I have to clean Vyasa's face. If I'm a male, then I feel like this. But if I'm free of all of that, I do not have to act. This is a very deep point showing us that contemplation is not an action. Contemplation is a vision. Whenever the word nitya is used, if contemplation is an action, if contemplation is a karma, a kriya, can you do that all the time? Can you drive and do this? Can you sleep and do this? Can you interact with people and do this? You can't. If the word nitya is there, it can't be an action. But we're so stuck on action, we're so oriented towards doing, that we make this vision, which is a darshana, we make it a karma and a kriya. Those are lies. It's dilution. This is a vision. I'm free. I envision being free. I don't have to act. And if I'm not acting, I am being. Which will come up. Bhavayet ekam atmanam. That which is closest to me is oneness. What is oneness? All that we studied. Bhavayet. Feel this. Don't feel Brahman is this intellectual word. When we were studying Vivek in the ashram, Vivek Chudamani is like Atma Bodha, but it's, I think, 560 shlokas. How many do we have? 60. So add 500 more. And you can get lost in this intellectual game. It's called the Shabda Jala, a net of words. And many times Guruji would feel that we were doing that as foolish students. And he would say, look at me. I'm talking about you. I'm not talking about Brahman is that drawer or in the path. This is mythology. This is you. Bhavayit. To feel this. The way you feel that your particular name, your hair, your identity, as natural as that is, to start to feel that you are more. Potential. Tam, anantam, ananyadihi, with complete identification, which comes through complete focus. Dihi means the mind, intellect, identification. Ananya, with no other. I am that, Atman. And the word anantam here means I will be happy once and for all. Literally once and for all. Tam anantam ananyadihi. This is not the fact that it has no end shows it's not a experience. Experiences start and experiences finish. That which is anantam is not a experience. This is being, and it is only through practice that we get to perfect ourselves from becoming to being. Being doesn't come and go. Being is. Here is your sutra. Living purely lights up priority. Living purely lights up priority. The more patient, disciplined, joyous, independent, compassionate, the more you're all of this, the more the idea of independent joy, the more the idea I am infinite becomes a priority. And when this is the only priority, ananyadhihi, you come to realize that priority. Soon your priority will be sleep. Soon. I'm not finished yet. And you will think, I want to sleep, I want to sleep, I want to sleep. I need to sleep, I need to sleep, I need to sleep. And when that's no longer a need, that priority has become you. You are sleeping. Oh. Narayana.